We wanted to interrupt this real quick and let you know that since we've recorded this video, there have been some changes with Maggie Mae and with her treatment. So stick around till the end and we'll update you on where things are at now. Hi, I'm Doug.
And I'm Cathy.
And this is Maggie Mae. Join us as we follow the moon. Maggie Mae is actually what we're going to be talking about today, because having a pet of any kind on the road has some responsibilities with it.
Absolutely.
And one of those responsibilities is making sure that their health is where it needs to be. And we had a local veterinarian in the town that we lived in that we had used for
20-some years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that she's that old, but...
No, she's not.
But Maggie is coming upon 7 years old, and during the time that she's been with us, we've had nothing but just the annual routine visits.
She's been very healthy.
Never had an issue.
Yeah.
But we realized that with us being on the road out of Florida for 8 going on 9 months out of the year this year, we weren't going to be in Florida when it was time for her annual visit. We needed to make some changes.
And we also wanted to be proactive in case we did need a vet along the road.
So we made a change and we went with Banfield Veterinarian Services. And Banfield is what we always thought of was the vet's office that was inside the PetSmart. But we've also found out since then they're not just in PetSmart, they do have freestanding Banfield animal hospitals.
And it's kind of like a chain. I don't know if they're individually owned, but you know, they're...
I don't know that either, but
yeah.
They all have access to her records, and that was the thing that
Yes.
really was important to us, that no matter where we were, her shot record, any of her medical records would be right there with her. So we ended up being in the area of Little Rock, Arkansas when it was time for her annual visit.
Yeah.
So we called and made the appointment ahead of time. We took her in. She had her annual physical. She got her flea
and tick and that sort of thing. Now, we also did transfer her records from our vet in our previous hometown to Banfield so that they had a background on her.
They knew what shots she had which years, and to have her up on track that way.
That's right.
But got through the annual visit, no problems, and we go on about our traveling.
Yeah.
And then...
Well, we have done a lot of hiking, and a lot more than what maybe people get their dogs out to walk for. And she's a small dog. She's 15 pounds. And we've always been aware of what kind of water, if there's any stagnant water or if there's any algae growing on top, we keep her out of it. But now and then she'll walk through a creek, and she also is not a very good drinker, so she gets dehydrated. We do encourage her to drink, we offer it, but it's like they say, you can't lead a dog to water. Or you can lead.
And she loves to get in the water.
She loves it, yes.
She loves to swim. She loves to get out and walk through the water. If she sees water as we're hiking, she makes a beeline for it, not to drink it or anything, but just to get in it.
She loves it.
So when we were in Ohio, we noticed when we took her outside to do her duties that when she came in, as she was coming up the steps into the motorhome, she left a little drop of blood. And so we checked her over, and we kind of felt it was probably a UTI of some sort. So we went online to Banfield to make an appointment, And this, I just want to throw out there, if any of you are using Banfield, we found this to be a big, big plus.
Yeah.
You can go online 24/7 and make an appointment, but you're only making an appointment with what the computer knows about. If you call the office, which we did the next morning, they can normally get you in much more quickly. Online was going to be about a week wait.
Yeah.
And once we called, we were able to get her in, was it the next day?
Yes, and they also have online vet that will talk to you. They won't diagnose or prescribe, but they will suggest what if you need to be more proactive. And she was actually very helpful.
So we checked locations on their website, and we chose a location in Upper Arlington, which was about 45 minutes away from where we were staying. We called, we got an early morning appointment for her, so we ran over there first thing that next morning, and they determined by doing a urinalysis that it was definitely a UTI. She did have blood in her urine, and they gave her what they said is they wanted to go the least evasive first. So they gave her a week's worth of amoxicillin liquid, and seemed like it cleared things up pretty good. So we left it at that, and about a week later, we noticed it had started to come back.
Yeah.
Well, we don't let the grass grow under our feet.
Yep.
And
by that time, we had moved.
Yeah. So by the time she had taken her week's worth, and it had been about another week beyond that, we were over in New Jersey. So again, we go through the routine. We look on the website, Manahawkin, New Jersey, just outside of Atlantic City. We were going to make a trip to Atlantic City anyhow, so we called that office. They got us in, I believe, the next day.
Yep, it was next day.
And so they did another urinalysis on her, said that there definitely was blood back in the urine again. There was bacteria, and they gave her a stronger pill form of an antibiotic that she was on for 2 weeks. And he told us at the time, you need to figure out where you're going to be in 2 weeks and go ahead and make an appointment and have her urine checked again to see what the status of it was. So we did that, and we were going to be in Virginia.
Virginia, yeah.
And we were going to be near Fredericksburg. So we called, we told them what was going on, and every time you call, let me place you on hold for just a minute so we can get her records pulled up. They pull up all of her records. They know what prescription she's been on. They know everything, just like we were taking her back to the same office.
That's right. That's right.
And so said yes, made the time. It was about 2 weeks out at that point, and took her over there and did the urinalysis and clean bill of health.
And she's been better. This another thing too is sometimes when they get sick, it's gradual and you don't notice their changes. You think, oh, it's hot, it's summertime, they're laying low and becoming not as active. And afterwards, after the we've noticed since she got off of the antibiotics, that she's back to her old self. She's rowdy and crazy and
you
running
couldn't tell
around
by this,
yeah. But yeah, she's really picked up, and you kind of have to keep an eye. They may start going potty more often. They may be attempting to go and nothing's happening, but they're going very often. And she wasn't doing so much about jumping up first thing in the morning and running to the door, which she never does. And she wasn't doing that. She was hanging out at the house. If we were here, she wasn't running to the door, so we weren't getting those kind of signals. But when we were out walking, we did notice that she was going a lot more often, and thought, well, maybe she's just like playing the little boy thing and
marking
as she goes along.
We kind of thought maybe from the hiking we've been doing that she was picking up on the scents of other animals and was trying to leave hers. But ends up none of that was the case.
Yeah. I will give you a little tip. I laid there the night when I knew that I wanted to make sure that the vet saw that what was going on, and it wasn't just my imagination. So I laid there and thought, what can I take urine in to take a urine sample?
Dogs are not real good at peeing in a cup.
Yeah, right. So what I did was one of those quart freezer bags, and carried that with me, had it open, and when she went to squat, I just slipped it underneath her and caught as much as I could. I will tell you, those vets, every single time I did that, they thanked me. They said they really appreciated us doing that.
Now, 2 of her visits were first thing in the morning, so we just took it with us. The last one when we were doing that was later in the afternoon, so they said keep it in the refrigerator. We were going to be gone for part of the day, so we actually put it in one of those little cold packs, took it with us, and everything worked fine. Made it easier when we got there for her visit.
And less invasive for her.
With Banfield, they do offer some programs. We're actually on a program with her that is a 1-year program we signed up for on her annual. I think it runs about $31 a month, and we don't pay for office visits. So through all of this, we've not paid for a single office visit. We paid for her flea and tick for the year that we give her each month. We paid for the urinalysis, but at a discounted rate, and we paid for the amoxicillin and the other antibiotic at a discounted rate.
Yeah.
So the program already has paid for itself for us for the year.
And I have to add, they were so nice.
Every one of them.
They truly acted like they were interested and concerned, and every one of them called afterwards to ask how she was. Within a couple of days after we saw them, we'd get a phone call and they were asking how she was.
Every time.
I can't honestly say that my vet at home did that, or what used to be home. This is home.
That's right. So we wanted to bring you this video today because I know if you look around an RV park, 80% of the people travel with a pet.
Absolutely.
And especially if you're full-time, even if you have a home base, or if you're part-time but on the more full of the part-time,
you could be out for 2 weeks, a long ways from home.
And this way, the records are right there. I know when we traveled before on vacation for a week or 2 at a time, we didn't always have her records with us.
That's right.
So we're bringing this to you just to bring to light. We're not sponsored by Banfield or by PetSmart. We're not affiliated with them in any way, but we're just bringing this to you. We've had 4 visits now, and we've had it in 4 different states, and we've had great experiences in all 4.
Every time.
So we're bringing this to you as a idea, a suggestion, a recommendation, that if you're traveling with a pet, this might give you some great peace of mind. And if you do need the services of a vet, it could be very beneficial for your pet.
Yep. We're actually right at the very end of Maggie's recovery, and she is doing well.
Yeah, she started having the bleeding again, and we were at Banfield in Myrtle Beach.
Yes.
And we took her back in and had her re-examined. They did ultrasound, they did x-rays, and they did, going a little bit deeper into it, find that she had bladder stones. And the only procedure to get rid of them on a small dog is surgery.
They did get us in very quickly.
The next morning.
Yes, and they were so good. And again, everything, all your records transfer immediately. It's all in their computer. They just opened up and saw the history, and they wasted no time. We
were there at 7 in the morning. They called us by 9 and went over that all the blood work was good. She was stable. Everything was a go. And probably about an hour and a half later, we got a call that she was in recovery and still under anesthetic, but doing well. And a little after 2, we were able to go pick her up.
It's been a couple of weeks, and the hardest part has been keeping her down.
Yes. She's doing really well. She's wanting to jump. She's wanting to play harder than she should. We have
Climb
to keep
the stairs.
holding her back
Yeah.
and lift and carry more than what we normally do. And some of the videos that you'll be seeing, you'll probably notice that she's in the stroller a lot more, in the backpack a lot more.
Yeah.
We're trying to take it as easy with her as what we can. But we did want to let you know that even though the story was over, we thought when we made this video up for you, it wasn't quite over. And our feelings about Banfield have only gotten to be more strong.
Absolutely.
They took wonderful care. They checked her out. They had her in surgery the next morning. They called to follow up on her. She's been a wonderful little patient, but
Yes, she
she's
has.
had great care.
Yes, she has.
So we'll bring you back to the video.
Thanks.
Anything else you'd like to add?
No, I can't think of anything.
She's certainly not stressed out about the
She's
whole
not.
thing. So with that, we want to thank you for joining us today, all three of us. If you enjoyed the video today, leave us a thumbs up. We sure do appreciate it. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do so and ring that notification bell. That way you'll know when all of our new videos come out.
And thank you for following us as we follow the moon.
Thanks for watching today.
If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel.
And be sure to ring the notification bell so you'll know when new videos come out.
Don't forget to follow us on social media too.